Minecraft is one of the most popular games ever made. And if you're watching this video, you probably are just now discovering it. Or you've played it in the past and you're just looking for a refresher to get caught back up to things in 2024. Well, luckily, this is our complete beginner's guide to Minecraft in 2024. And we're going to be tackling this like someone who has never played Minecraft before. Now, if you have played Minecraft, this video will still help you, but you might want to go ahead and skip to the surviving your first night section in the video chapters below. And that is worth mentioning here. There are video chapters for every single part of this video, and that can be really helpful if you're looking for something more specific. For example, farming or something like that, or building a house, things like that. You can skip around, and it's easy to come back to this video because I do understand it's pretty long, and skip to the section that you want. We're also going to be focusing on survival Minecraft here. Creative mode is where you can just get any blocks that you want and basically build and truly have a open sandbox to build whatever you want. You can also do that in survival, but you have to go gather the materials and all of that. Luckily, if you learn Minecraft survival, you can play creative mode without issue. So that's why we're going to be focusing on survival in this video, even though creative mode is an amazing way to just see what your creativity can bring when it comes to Minecraft. Lastly, there are two versions of Minecraft: Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and the version you play really depends on what you're looking to do when it comes to Minecraft. If you're playing Minecraft on a computer, a Mac, or a PC, I would recommend playing Minecraft Java Edition. The reason being is that's going to give you the most control over what you do in-game as far as mods and things like that, and it has all of the same features that Minecraft Bedrock Edition has. Minecraft Bedrock Edition, however, can be played on Windows computers. It can also be played on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, as well as any other platform that you see Minecraft on, because Minecraft Java is only on PC and Mac, whereas Minecraft Bedrock Edition is on everything except Macs. Generally, I would recommend Java Edition if you have a Mac or PC, or Bedrock Edition if you have anything else, because it's your only option. This video is designed to work with both versions, by the way, so don't stress too much about that for following this video, but it is worth noting here on the front end because choosing your version is somewhat important because you don't want to get into building out in a massive world and then realize you want mods later and you're on Bedrock Edition, even though you're playing on a computer. With all of that information out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the basics of Minecraft. There's basically 4 different things that you can do in Minecraft. The first is gather materials. The second is craft different things. The third is build anything your imagination can basically come up with. And then last but not least is combat, or the fighting systems in Minecraft. Gathering materials is the mining part of Minecraft, and it includes doing things like gathering wood and dirt, mining for stone and ores, and even breaking grass to get seeds and start farming. Before you can really do anything in Minecraft, you've got to go do some of the gathering materials part of the game because, well, you can't build anything if you don't have anything to build with. And from there, you actually move on to crafting, which is going to allow you to get things like tools, turn your wood into planks, or do things like make a furnace or other sort of blocks that allow you to do other stuff, including a crafting table, which allows you to actually craft larger items like swords, pickaxes, shovels, etc. From there, you can start building, and building is one of my favorite parts of Minecraft, and this is where you build different structures out of the materials you've gathered and have crafted. For example, you could go gather some oak wood, you could craft that into oak planks, craft those planks into fence posts, and then use those to make a fence for some animals. Really, really cool, and one of the most amazing things about Minecraft is the imagination that can come from building. The amount of stuff that can be built is truly unlimited. From there, we have the last part of the 4 basics of Minecraft, and that's the combat or fighting system. There are kind of 2 ways to think about this: player versus environment, or PvE, or player versus player, PvP. And what we're going to be covering in this video, we're going to be focusing on player versus environment, which is basically just you fighting off different mobs and monsters in single player Minecraft. However, there are servers out there, and you can make your own server as well, to play Minecraft player versus player. Basically, you in combat against someone else. There are different kinds of combat where you can use swords or ranged attacks using a bow or a crossbow, and you've also got different damage that can be done with things like a sword versus an empty fist when it comes to melee. There's also armor that can help protect you in combat, both player versus player or player versus environment, but we'll cover that a bit more later on in the video. Now, though, we can go ahead and transition in game and actually start our world. So we can go into single player here. We can create a brand new world, and you can name the world anything you want. We're going to go ahead and name this Minecraft 2024 Beginner's Guide, because, well, that's what we're doing here. You can choose your game mode, you can do cheats on or off, and up at the top there's a bit more customization that can be done as far as world type, entering in a custom seed, and even more options here. If you're just getting started though, I wouldn't recommend changing anything except maybe turning on cheats, because that can't get you out of a bind later on, and it's your first world, so it's okay if you have to cheat a little bit of stuff in as you're learning the game. And then go ahead and click Create New, and your world will now generate. While this world's generating, I do want to quickly mention that this video is brought to you by our company, SimpleGameHosting. It's the easiest way to make a Minecraft server and play Minecraft with your friends, so check it out at the first link in the description down below, the breakdown.xyz/SGH. We'll talk more about SimpleGameHosting's features later in the video. So here we are in game, and when you first spawn in, who knows what you're going to get. We spawned in sort of a evergreen style forest here, right on the water, which is nice to see, as well as a, kind of open area here. I'm going to be using this open area quite a bit because, well, it's just going to be a lot easier, but you can clear any land that you want. When you first spawn in, the first thing you want to do is find a tree and start chopping it down. How do you do that? Well, you punch it. That's going to be just holding your mouse button down and punching the tree continuously. A lot of people like to think you would click this every time you punch, like rapidly. And while that I think will work, no, it won't. You have to press and hold in order for this to work. And that's something that I see a lot of people do when they first start Minecraft. You've got to click and hold to chop down the tree. I'm going to go ahead and chop down a few of these trees by just punching them. And then we can move on to the next step, which is actually going to make this whole process a little faster. Let me chop down one more tree. There we go. Tree number 2 has been chopped down, and now what we want to do is craft this into planks. So if we take this raw wood here and we open up our inventory, what we want to do is take this spruce log and put it in this crafting menu here. Now we can't craft everything in this menu. We can only craft stuff that uses this small 2x2 sort of area, but we can use it to make planks. Go ahead and click all of these planks or all of these wood logs into planks, and then take these planks and put them right around here, right like so. What is this? It creates a crafting table. And this is what we're going to be able to use to craft bigger things like tools, as well as just, craft a little more efficiently and things like that. Speaking of crafting, there is this crafting book here. If you go ahead and click on that, you can see all the crafting recipes you currently have access to, and it will change depending on what basically crafting menu you're in. So if we place this down and open this up, as you can see, we can now craft stairs because this is required and to be done in a crafting table. I'm going to close this because it does clutter this inventory screen a bit, but it's super helpful if you're new to the game and learning crafting recipes. There's also tons of amazing resources out there to help you find crafting recipes, so don't be afraid to Google something if you need to. Nevertheless, we've now closed out of that crafting book, and what do we do from here? Well, first off, we probably should think about getting some food because that's going to be important for us surviving the first night. To do that, we want to go ahead and make a quick sword. So, right like so, 2 of these planks on top of each other gives us a stick, and then we can use that stick with 2 of these planks on top of each other to get a wooden sword. I'm also going to go ahead and create a wooden pickaxe. This will allow us to mine things like stone, stuff like that, so we can go ahead and do that really fast. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and make some more sticks and make ourselves really quickly a axe, because that's going to make chopping down wood a little more efficient. Generally, I wouldn't recommend sticking with wood tools long. It's going to be crazy how fast we ditch these, but it is worth making them if you are just getting started. That way you have something to use. Now, one thing I will say, these are super valuable. Not necessarily copper, but the coal over there and the iron are super valuable. I'm going to be ignoring those because of this video, but generally, if you saw these, you would want to get a stone pickaxe as fast as possible and mine both of these because they're super valuable. But we're not going to be using them here because I'm going to assume your spawn doesn't have those. So how do we kind of move forward? Well, we want to go ahead and get some food. Now, the best way to do that is use this sword and kill some animals, which I know is a bit morbid, but unfortunately, we don't have many other options at the moment. We can get farming going pretty quickly, but generally you need something to, get that hunger bar and keep it full, and animals are going to be the way to do that. That's assuming you can find some. We've actually got quite a barren area here as far as animals go, and you want to make sure you're kind of phoning home, making sure you know where to go to get back to your stuff. But as you can see here, we have found a pig, so we will go ahead and unfortunately kill the pig and get ourselves some pork chops. Generally, I would recommend getting, 2 or 3 animals worth of food in order to, sustain yourself through the early game while you're waiting to survive the first night, and then we'll get farming set up usually on day 2 is what I like to do. You could rush farming right away, but this is a beginner guide, so I would recommend killing some animals at first and then getting farming as your day 2. Nevertheless, there we go. We have some sheep over here. Sheep are actually double helpful if you find them because they will drop wool, which will allow us to actually sleep through the night. I won't be doing that here because, again, I can't assume you will have sheep on your first night. But if you do, we will craft a bed as well, just so you can kind of skip the first night and get right back to daytime if you want. Nevertheless, we have gotten an amazing setup here. We've gotten 6 pieces of raw meat as well as 3 wool for a bed. Again, though, the bed and the wool is not required. So I'm running back to our base here, and we can go ahead and use our crafting table to make this bed along with these planks. How do you make a bed? Well, you place 3 on the bottom here, and you place the wool on top, and boom, you now have a bed. You can right-click this to set a spawn point anytime, and at night, you can sleep in the bed and skip the night. We won't be using the bed for that, though, because I'm assuming you can't skip the night. How close are we tonight? Well, if we look at the sun, it's just over past halfway there. It's getting close. So the next thing I would recommend doing in order to get through the first night is actually finding a hillside and digging into it. Because the best way to survive the first night is actually just going to be digging underground and mining through that first nighttime, some kind of setup for you while you're waiting out and getting your bed, before you can get your bed. If you don't, by the way, get a bed and wool on day 1, that's a main day 2 priority alongside farming. So as you can see here, we are now mining down under the ground, and this is what we will call home for the first night. Now, we still have some daylight with us, so I'm going to use that and chop down some more trees, and I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade my tools to stone now that we have those, so we can go ahead and make ourselves a stone pickaxe, right like so. We'll also make a stone axe using the same crafting recipe that we used for the wooden axe, just with cobblestone this time, and then we will also make ourselves a stone sword. Like I said, we didn't keep those wooden tools long, but let's say you didn't have that quick access to stone like I did, well, you would want to keep those for as long as you need them until you can upgrade them to stone. You may also want to make a stone shovel, and what that's going to be is this recipe, and this will allow you to mine dirt and things like that a lot quicker. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and let the nighttime settle in, remembering our little underground area is there, and I'm going to finish off the day by, well, getting as much trees as I can, as many logs as I can. So as you can see here, it has gotten very dark. It's not quite full darkness yet. You can see the sunset over there, but it's dark enough that we should probably go hide inside. I'm going to grab my crafting table and the bed as well, just because I don't want to lose these, but we can see the sun is setting. The reason, by the way, we're going to hide at night instead of staying out here is because there are zombies, there are skeletons, there are hostile mobs that will spawn. You can see there's a skeleton right over there. So let's go ahead and jump down into our little cave area here and just cover ourselves in. Now, it's extremely dark in here, and that doesn't make for a great video. We're going to go ahead and place down our crafting table into the wall here, basically. And then once we've done that, we're going to use some stone, which we actually quickly need to mine, to craft ourselves a furnace. Let me go ahead and mine that stone. We're going to need 9 of them. There we go. We have our 9 stone, and we can take this and make it into a furnace. The reason we're doing this, I guess we needed 8 stone, excuse me. The reason that we're doing this is because we need to make some charcoal, because we've not found any coal yet to make torches. We can use charcoal for that. How do we do it? Well, we burn our logs. This is super inefficient and not something I would recommend doing long term, but to get started and get a few torches, it is well worth doing early game if you haven't found coal on the surface like we did earlier. If you find coal on the surface like we did, just use that. Don't make the charcoal. But nevertheless, we now have a charcoal, and what we can use this for is a torch, and that's going to allow us to light up our mining, and as we explore underground, allow us to actually see what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few more sticks, because to make torches, you place the sticks on the bottom, you place the torch in the center, and boom, we now have some torches, and can actually go use this to find coal. How do we do that? Well, we just kind of mine down. There are specific areas that are recommended for finding ores. It's a bit complex, so I'll go ahead and put an image on the screen right now that you can review if you would like, but don't stress about it too much. Just generally do some underground exploring, and later on, we can optimize things and be more efficient. Now, one thing that I am noticing here, we have raw pork chops and raw mutton, and our hunger is getting low. We're about halfway on what people a lot of times call the chicken nuggets here, if you will. And what we can do is now use this furnace we made and cook this meat. It's super inefficient to use logs to do this. I would recommend using charcoal if you can, but it's actually going to be a great way for us to cook this food and make it a more efficient food source. If you eat raw meat, you can get poison in the game, so we don't want to do that. As you can see here, we eat this pork chop and boom, our health is nearly full, or excuse me, our food is nearly full. We are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and grab these, and then I'll throw the mutton in there, and then we'll go back to mining as well because, well, the goal is not to burn all of our logs to make charcoal. The goal is to find some real coal. That way we can use that because it's way more efficient. So I'm going to go ahead and mine for a little bit. This is a standard mining pattern that I would recommend doing, which is basically just 3 blocks, 1 down block below the last one, right like so. You will run into different ores. As of right now, copper, which is what we're mining, isn't super useful, but it is a cool decoration block. It patinas. It's a really beautiful block to use in builds, but as far as functionality, unfortunately, it's not super functional at the time of recording. However, that does change a bit with the next Minecraft release, which we know a decent bit about. There is a little more function for copper, but nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead, keep on mining with the goal of finding some coal. While we're mining, I wanted to go ahead and jump to a quick breakdown of the different ores in Minecraft, though you can kind of understand what you're looking for when you're doing mining, basically. Now, there's a bunch of different ores, things like lapis lazuli, which we actually just found here, but let's talk about specifically the ores that are super useful for tools and like making armor, things like that. First off, there is stone. You can't make armor out of stone, but you can make tools, which we've done in this video already, and you can also make wooden tools, which really and truly I really wouldn't recommend at all. Just get them over with at the beginning of the game as fast as possible. From there is iron. Iron is a super early to early mid-game sort of ore, and as you can see here, we actually just found some as I'm mining and doing this video, cutting back in from the B-roll, if you will. How awesome is that to find it while we're just actually mining and talking about it? But from there, you've got gold. Gold is really not used much at all because it's not super efficient. It breaks incredibly quickly, and it's decently hard to find in comparison to iron. So even though iron does mine a bit slower than gold, it's well worth it due to the fact it's much more efficient and it breaks a whole lot less than gold does. Gold is very weak, very malleable when it comes to using it for tools and armor. So generally you shouldn't use it, but make sure to always bring a gold piece of armor to the Nether because it will protect you from the piglins, which will attack you if you don't have that on. So make sure to wear at least 1 piece of gold armor. You can even trade with them if you've got gold armor on, whereas like I said, they attack you if you don't. From there is diamonds, which for the longest time, I mean decade or more, was the most popular ore, was the top line of armor and tools that you could get in Minecraft until Netherite was introduced. And now that takes the cake. Netherite can only be found in the Nether. We will be talking a bit more about finding diamonds in Netherite later on in the video, but for now, just know that's the ore breakdown. Starts off with wood tools, and then it goes to stone tools, then it goes to iron armor and tools, gold armor and tools, diamond, and Netherite armor and tools. So, as you can see, we're still mining here. We are done with our torch, and unfortunately, we haven't found any coal. We did find some iron, though, which is a well worth find. I'm going to go ahead and make a few more torches here and basically just survive until the first night is over. It can be a good idea to come up here and check. I forget exactly how long it takes to go through in real time a Minecraft night, but I believe it's like 8 to 10 minutes somewhere in there to get all the way through the night in real life time versus Minecraft time, if that makes sense. So we can come up here and quickly check by just breaking this block. It is, in fact, still nighttime. It's even raining on us. Something worth noting, if you have a bed and you sleep, it'll actually stop the rain as well. So really cool little feature there that is worth noting if you hate rain in Minecraft as much as I do. Anyway, go ahead, back to mining, and I will see you once we find some coal or once it is daytime, because otherwise it is time for us to go ahead and get our farming going on day 2, as well as getting going with, building a house and all of that stuff. I lied. I broke my pickaxe, so I figured it would be actually a good time to explain that when you get raw iron or any raw or even raw copper, you need to use a furnace to smelt that into a bar, which can then be used to make your tools and armor. So as you can see here, we are now taking this raw iron. It smelts into an iron ingot, or an iron bar as I called it. It's technically called an ingot in game, and then you can go ahead and use that to make tools. We're going to need 3 of these because I'm going to go ahead and make myself an iron pickaxe. I found the iron and I think it's time to upgrade. Always try to upgrade your tools as fast as possible because it makes you more efficient, makes you mine faster, it makes you, keep tools longer, all of that stuff. So it's definitely worth upgrading as soon as you possibly can, which we have now done as we go ahead and craft some sticks to upgrade ourselves to an iron pickaxe. There we go. As you can see, Isn't it iron pick achievement unlocked? And honestly, I couldn't have planned that. We have not found coal, but literally digging down here, I ran right into diamonds. I could not have planned that. I'm going to go ahead and mine these, but we'll still cover diamonds a bit more in depth later on in the video. The only thing I want to mention now about diamonds is, one, make sure you dig around a little bit. As you can see, we would have missed these easily if we had just grabbed that one and went back up. But two, you want to use an iron pickaxe. You cannot mine diamonds with a stone pickaxe. So if we had found these and started a stone pickaxe, it wouldn't have worked. I even missed some iron here. But I've not found coal quite yet, but I'm sure we're getting pretty close. There we go. We finally found some coal here, and sometimes it's better to work smarter and not harder. So I looked at the ore distribution chart and went to the level where coal is most likely to spawn, and as you can see, we found quite a bit of it here. How do you do that? Well, on Bedrock Edition, you can go into your settings and easily turn on coordinates in the top left. On Java Edition, pressing F3 on your keyboard pulls up the coordinates here, X, Y, and Z in the left-hand side. So -64, 48, which is our Y, up and down. That's why, 48 is about where coal is best to spawn, and then 35 is the Z coordinates there. That's something that is worth noting and will work with that ore distribution chart to be able to find the best place to find different sorts of ores and doing strip mining and things like that on those levels. Something else worth noting about mining, if you find a cave system, explore it. It's super easy to find a ton of different ores, coal, diamonds even, redstone, any ore that you kind of want using a cave exploration method where you're just traveling around, jumping into any cave that you see and exploring it to the fullest. But nevertheless, as I said, working smarter, not harder, we have found ourselves 24 coal, which sets us up for some torches, for some fuel, and it's daytime as well. So we can go ahead and begin exploring and setting up day 2. It is still raining. Like I said, I have cheats enabled here, so we can go ahead and disable this weather with cheats. How do we do that? Well, we just do /weather clear. Boom. And now it becomes sunny Minecraft. Using commands like that is something you can do with cheats enabled. If they aren't, well, then you kind of have to suffer through the rain or sleep through the night using a bed. But we can now mine this coal. That would have helped us so much. And if you find ores like this on the surface, use them. But we have now survived the first night. There's two things that are kind of our goal today. One, farming. We want to set up some sort of more sustainable food source. Two, we want to go ahead and set up a house, a place where we can call truly a home base or even a home if that's what we're building here, right? So what we want to do is make ourselves a hoe really fast. So we'll just go ahead and do that. What this is going to allow us to do is till the ground and plant seeds. We then want to find somewhere where we could start our farm. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of create a farming area here out of this sort of area. We can plant 4 blocks away from water and it will grow in that area, or seeds will grow in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of think about that and clear this piece of land out a bit in order to set it up for farming. I'm also going to mine this coal and all that because why not? And what we want to do is think about 4 blocks away. Now there is a more efficient farm setup, which you're seeing me kind of work on right now, where you place a block of water in the center and then till out 4 blocks all the way around in a square radius. That's going to be the most efficient farm that you can do, but it's unrealistic to think you'll have a bucket this early in the game to be able to place that water down. So I would recommend starting with your first farm by just doing this right here, mining out an area and just replacing some of this stone with dirt and then farming. The first step of farming after you've got your land prepared is to use the hoe that we made to till the ground. Now you'll watch, this will get saturated with water right like so, and that's proof that it's working. If we were to mine, for example, or till a block that's too far away, this will never get saturated with water and won't work effectively. So we want to keep that in mind. We're looking for it to get saturated right like so. Now this is only step 1. The second step is actually getting the seeds to plant, well, the stuff to grow. Now there's a few different types of things that you can grow in Minecraft. For example, you can grow wheat, which is what we're most likely going to be starting with. You can also grow carrots, potatoes, and a lot more. What we're looking for is tall grass. Now, this is what tall grass looks like, and when you break it, you will occasionally get a seed. Typically, you'll start off with a bit more of these around you that you can break. You don't have to use a sword for this, by the way. You can use an open hand, and eventually, you will break one and get a seed right like so, and that's all we need to start a farm. I would like to get a few more seeds, so I'm going to keep breaking some of this grass here, hopefully get a few more, but one is enough because whenever something grows, it will automatically be able to, get a new seed from that, right? It produces its own seed as wheat grows. That way, it's kind of self-sufficient. You never have to do it again once you do it. You can also get some of this sugarcane, not as a food source, but later on for making books and things like that. You need sugarcane to make paper, to make those books and do things like enchanting. We're getting pretty complex there though. Let's go ahead and get these seeds planted, and then once we've done that, we will be able to start farming. I am going to do some skipping ahead here in order to ensure that things, kind of progress in this faster, and we're not sitting here waiting a long time. But a lot of times farming is just to set it and forget it. For example, if you only got 2 seeds here, all we would do is plant these 2 seeds down, wait for them to grow, harvest them, and all of that. But I'm going to speed things up real quick. So with the game speed sped up, we can now go ahead and harvest these. That's what they look like when they're fully harvested. And like I said, they produced seeds, and they produced more seeds than they were to start with, right? There was 2 seeds to start with, now there's 4. So we can place those down. They will not grow this fast normally. This is at way faster game speed than what is there by default. So you would have to wait a lot longer for this to grow normally. But for us in this guide, it's super simple to just go ahead and do that and kind of speed things up. That way you're not sitting here watching a video for, 20 minutes as I'm just waiting on this farm to kind of grow out and be able to be harvested a few times to where we can actually get a decent amount of sustainable food going, which we're actually pretty much reaching probably right about now after I harvest this bunch here. So nevertheless, we've now got a farm going. Things are looking good. Things are growing, and we have enough wheat that we can make some food so we can stop killing animals. We actually haven't even eaten anywhere near all of the food that we got at the beginning. A few pork chops is actually it, but now we don't have to kill any more animals, and we can run over here to our crafting table and actually go ahead and get ourselves sustainable food using bread. So we open the crafting table here, and we can take this wheat, place it right like so, and boom, there we go, we get bread. Now, at this point, it's most through the entire day, we need to get a bed. If you don't have a bed at this point, you need to go kill some sheep and get a bed. 3 sheep is all you've got to kill in order to get a bed, and it's super important at this stage because we don't want to have to go mining for the second night. You can, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can do that if you can't find sheep, but I would recommend finding some at this point because it's going to make things so much easier to, get through this next night. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and build a basic house out. I'm going to take these spruce logs and convert them into planks, and don't be overwhelmed by building in Minecraft at first. I'm not great at it, but I still love building because it's just not super stressful, right? Just build what happens and take stuff down, tear it down, and try again. I would recommend starting out with just a square box, right like so, or a rectangle box. I think this is more of a rectangle than it is a square. Then go ahead and decide where your door is going to be. To get started, I would recommend right in the center. If it's, 2 blocks wide in the center, like there's, 2 blocks on this side, 2 blocks on this side, you could do 2 doors, but as you can see, we just have 1 here. So that's going to be our front door, exiting that way. And then just build up. I would recommend going at least 4 blocks high, right like so. But if you really want to be crazy, you can go 5 blocks high and then build over and then build your walls up right like this. I kind of usually will just build out a structure in this sort of a way. But as you can see, it's starting to turn nighttime. So what I'm going to do is place down a torch, throw down that bed that we have, and sleep through the night. Oh, doesn't seem like it wants me to sleep yet. It's not quite nighttime. But as soon as it is, we want to sleep because we don't want any zombies or anything coming and attacking us and ruining the party. We do have a sword. We could try to defend ourselves, and most likely you'll be able to. It's also worth noting, if you die right at your spawn like we are here, it's okay. You can easily go back and get your stuff. Stuff in Minecraft lasts for 5 minutes on the ground after you die, so don't worry about it too much. But we can now go ahead and sleep through the night here, and as soon as we wake up, it is daytime, and we have nothing to worry about. We can now get right back to building. So as you can see, we built out kind of this basic house. It looks good, but it could be better. And it's always going to be that way. It's always going to feel like you can improve your house, make it better, but don't stress out about it. Just build out something basic at first and then improve it time and time again over time as you get better at building and learn and all that stuff. Don't be afraid to look up tutorials on building because there are some great ones out there. Like I said, I'm not a great builder. I'm not really the best person to teach how to build in Minecraft, but I can show you how to set up a basic house, which is what we've done now, and move your stuff into it. So let's go get our stuff out of our mine over here and move that into our house. We have now got a basic house, and it's time for us to create something to store all of the stuff we're getting now that we've got a house that we can permanently put it in. To do that, we're going to be placing down our crafting table and using our spruce planks or any planks that you have, whether it's oak or any other type of tree, and creating 2 storage chests using this sort of a pattern. As you can see, we've got 2 chests here, and now we can place these down side by side, and they connect, allowing us to put stuff in here. You can just use one, by the way. It's worth noting that, right? If we delete one of these chests or mine one of these chests, we can see we can use that, but why not use both of them? But more space is better. So we can also place down our furnace here. And now we have a full setup in our house where we can do our furnace stuff. We can store our items in here. We can craft. We can sleep. This is looking good. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a door, right like so, out of planks. Place those down, and I've left this space here because I think it would be cool to put some windows in this house, and the best way to put windows in a house is going to be getting glass. Well, we need some windows, right? So let's go ahead and go get some sand really fast and put this in here. Now, if you can't find sand, you can always do this later on in the game, but I do see some down in the water. Going to be tricky because we do need to watch our breath. As you can see over the food here, we now have breath that we need to watch, but we don't need a ton of sand in order to do this, just a few pieces. So I'm going to go ahead, mine probably 10 or so pieces of sand, go ahead and smelt that to get some glass, and then it's time to move on with the tutorial. This isn't a building guide after all. When you do run out of breath, it will start damaging your hearts here. That's your health. And once that hits 0, you die and you respawn. So let's go ahead and, make sure we don't do that. There we go. We've gotten quite a bit of sand, and we can go smelt this. Smelting glass in a furnace is how you are going to be able to get yourself some glass, or smelting sand in a furnace, excuse me, is how you're going to be able to get yourself some glass. So as you can see, we're now smelting that, and it will put out a glass block, which we can then use to surround the house. You can also make glass panes, and that can be done with 6 glass blocks. We can go ahead and take these and do right like so to get the glass panes. As you can see, 6 glass blocks to give us 16 glass panes, which is probably enough to fill the rest of this house in. So from here, what would I recommend doing? Well, it's time to kind of go through the tool upgrade, sort of system, if you will, and that means getting some diamonds. Most likely you didn't find 3 diamonds already, so it's time to go down and mine and get some. Diamonds are the best armor that you can get in the overworld. Netherite has to be gotten in the Nether, and you have to upgrade diamond armor to even get Netherite armor, so it's best starting off with diamond and maxing out your diamond armor, basically getting really good diamond armor set up and all that stuff before you even go and attempt Netherite, in my opinion. However, if you want to play different, you can. That's what's great about Minecraft. You can play it however you want. You don't even have to get any armor. You can just jump straight into Netherite if you can manage getting all of that done without any other armor. Most likely it'll be difficult, but it's not impossible. And that's what's great about Minecraft. Nothing really is. This game is a sandbox. You can do whatever you want with it. And that includes doing things like no armor netherite, which would be an interesting challenge. In regards to diamonds, though, they are distributed between Y15 and Y-63. What do we mean by that? Well, if we go ahead and hit F3, we can see our Y coordinates is now negative. So we're at -4. So from Y positive 15 all the way down to Y negative 63, you'll find diamonds. The lower the better, though, so Y56 can be a good place to mine, in my opinion, because, well, at Y56, you're not going to encounter a ton of lava. You're also not at the very, very bottom encountering a ton of bedrock, preventing you from really mining. It's just kind of a happy mix, in my opinion, and it's definitely worth, checking out different areas, though, if you want to mine. And again, though, the lower the better when it comes to this. So I'm going to go ahead and mine down to that area and show you how I like to mine. There are amazing guides out there on mining diamonds, tons of them, actually. Do not take what I do here as gospel, and a lot of people say that you can just explore and follow caves as deep as they can go in order to find tons of diamonds. So use whatever method you want. It really is up to you as to how you find diamonds. This is just the method that I've been using recently that has actually worked pretty well for me. So I'll see you at Y negative 56. So here we are, Y negative 56, and my mining method is actually this one. So mine out a few blocks, 2 blocks high, right like so, and then once you've mined out a few blocks, look left, mine all the way this way as far as the eye can see. Right there are diamonds. I could not have planned this. We've gotten so lucky with diamonds here. And then we want to go this way as well, mining out as far as we can, and then repeat this. But make sure you're skipping 2 blocks because we've already seen this block, right? So we want to skip to the next block. We're going to be seeing that block as well because we're going to be mining here. So we want to do this every 2 blocks, and it's the way that I've been working and finding diamonds in the 1.18 plus update, and it's worked really well for me. But whatever method works for you is good. And if you don't like this method, well, guess what? Find another one that does work and use that, because it's up to you how you find diamonds, and whatever works for you and what you enjoy the most is what you need to do. For example, some people will place down water and swim in order to find diamonds. It's kind of crazy. You basically are just laying on your stomach and going forward here, mining like this. So up to you, but we have found 3 or 6 diamonds now, I guess, total in this playthrough. In general, you would want to find as many as you can to build out full armor and all of that stuff. Due to time, I'm just going to go ahead and give me the diamonds to do that and build out our full diamond armor. It's also worth noting that you can make iron armor as well, and you should do that as soon as you possibly can in order to stay alive and protect yourself, because it's just worth doing. But yeah, that's how you can find diamonds. That's my diamond method if you wanted one, but also feel free to Google, look it up, find other diamond methods that work better for you. Through the power of movie magic, we're back at our base and we can craft our diamond armor. The crafting recipes for these are the same for iron and diamond armor. You just want to make sure that you're replacing the diamond with iron ingots in order to get the iron variant of the armor. The same is actually true for gold armor as well, but not netherite armor. Speaking on netherite armor, I'm actually going to link out to an in-depth complete guide that we made on finding and making netherite armor. It's a bit more complex than it used to be because you have to find netherite templates and all of that stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a dedicated video on that. As far as finding the ancient debris for netherite though, there's a few different methods that you can do that, and you're going to need to go to the Nether in order to do that. Now, how do we do that? How do we go to the Nether? Well, first off, you're going to need flint and steel. You can get flint, which we have some here, by mining gravel, and you can get steel by getting iron. Steel is iron in this game. It's kind of weird how that works, but we can go ahead and put them together like this to get flint and steel. So now we can go ahead and set things on fire, right? Like we can just, boom, set things on fire with a right click. Now, with that being said, what do we set on fire to get to the Nether? Well, we set obsidian on fire, and that requires a diamond pickaxe in order to mine. What does obsidian look like? Well, let me go ahead and find some really quick, and I'll show you after I create this diamond pickaxe. First diamond pickaxe moment, always cool to record that and get that on video, because it's a big deal. Finding your first diamonds and getting your first diamond pickaxe, pat yourself on the back when that happens. Let me find some obsidian. Obsidian is created when water meets lava. As you can see, you can create an iron bucket, by the way, by using a crafting table and placing iron in that crafting table in this sort of a configuration. 3 iron, right like so, gives you a bucket, and then you can just right click on water with the bucket to get a bucket full of water like we have here. As you can see, we can pick it up and place it, and we now have obsidian that can be mined with a diamond pickaxe. I always get about 16 obsidian, but I think you only need about 12 obsidian in order to create a nether portal. Let me go ahead and get this obsidian, and then I'll meet you back up at our base to actually go ahead and access the nether. So I did some research, and we need 14 blocks in order to build this portal. Place 3 on the bottom and a filler block on each side. I should mention that you need 14 obsidian and 4 filler blocks. Then go ahead and build up 4 blocks on each side, right like so. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4 blocks here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then place a filler block on the top of each of these posts and connect them in the middle with the 3 remaining blocks. If you don't like the look of your filler blocks, by the way, you can just delete them. They're not required. It just makes building this a lot easier when you're, first building it. Then take your flint and steel and right click in the portal to set it on fire and create a nether portal. Now you can jump through the nether and find netherite. There's tons of different ways. You can use TNT mining, where you place down TNT, blow it up, and then look for netherite. You can also use bed mining, where you place down a bed and blow it up, but sometimes that will kill you if you don't have any armor on. That's why diamond armor is super important. Speaking of the nether, you do need gold here, otherwise you will get attacked if you're not careful. So make sure you've got a gold piece of armor on. It could be boots, it could be, a chest plate, whatever you want. Just make sure that gold armor is on. Occasionally, this will happen where your portal will move you. I don't know why that happens, but usually it doesn't move you too far, and I believe that we're going to be able to find our base kind of over in this area. Let's go ahead and see if we're correct there. As you can see, I was correct there. It was that way. Make sure you get your coordinates. F3, write those down, because occasionally that can happen. I've only seen that happen a few times, so it's odd it happened to us here. But nevertheless, that is a potentiality that can happen whenever you go to the nether and return. But now, like I said, you can look for netherite. The different methods are endless, and you also need to find a netherite smithing template in order to be able to craft netherite armor. Those can be found, for in the Nether by exploring for bastions. Luckily, that guide that I mentioned in the description covers all of that on making Netherite armor and tools. Nonetheless, at this point, the world is kind of yours. You can go to the end, which is a completely different journey. You could go to the Nether, find the Netherite. You can do so much when it comes to Minecraft. You can just build if you want to. You could literally just build, gather resources, build out a town, explore the overworld, find villages, do villager trading. There is so much that you can do in this game. Watch other Let's Plays, watch other guides. Find ways that you can make Minecraft fun for you because there's so much you can do. It's fun for everybody in a different way. Usually when you play on a server, you can actually develop roles, right? Typically, I'm the one that goes out and finds resources, explores, does that stuff. Whereas one of my friends that plays with me all the time builds, right? He builds amazing structures. I find the resources, he builds. You develop kind of roles, if you will, just naturally. But nevertheless, what if you want to play Minecraft with your friends? In my opinion, it's one of the best ways to play Minecraft. And luckily, our company, SimpleGameHosting, which you can check out at the first link in the description down below, the breakdown.xyz/SGH is a great way to do that. You can easily add mods, plugins, or mod packs to your server. And if you have any issues with your server along the way, there's expert live chat support there to help you out. The goal of SimpleGameHosting is to make hosting a Minecraft server easy. And if you want to customize your server with mods, plugins, any of that, that's super easy as well. So stop struggling to host a server. You're just getting started with Minecraft. Host a server this simple way at the breakdown.xyz/SGH, first link in the description down below. Now, that's not the only way to play Minecraft with your friends. There's tons of different ways to do that. There's public servers, all of that stuff. But from the main menu of Minecraft, if you click on multiplayer here and click proceed, this is where you can add servers. For example, I've got a SimpleGameHosting server here, but you could add any server you want by clicking add server. As long as you've got the IP address, paste that in there, click done, and it will show up here. Hypixel, things like that. There's tons of different Minecraft servers. They're all unique and can be super fun to play on, whether that's when you host yourself with someone like SimpleGameHosting, when you host on your own computer, or one that's public like Hypixel that anyone can join. Once you've got a server, you can just double click to join it. From there, every server is different. This is a server that is just kind of a private server for me and my friend. We build out this village, all of that stuff, but Hypixel has Skyblock and mini games and all that stuff, and there's tons of other public servers that you can play on as well, including private ones like this, where you and your friends can just enjoy Minecraft. You can even host modded servers and play thousands of different Minecraft mods with your friends. So make sure to not let single player Minecraft ruin your experience of Minecraft, because I know people who have not enjoyed single player but loved multiplayer, or not enjoyed vanilla Minecraft but love it once mods are added. So be sure to experience all the different ways that you can play Minecraft. And speaking of mods and shaders and graphics and all of that stuff, graphics mods, there are links and resources in the description down below on how to set all that up, how to get mods, how to get shaders, how to do all that. It's actually what we mostly do on this channel. And there's even a playlist down below that has all of the most up-to-date guides for 2024 on how to add and install and do all of that stuff. So be sure to check that out as well to kind of continue enjoying Minecraft, whether it's on a server like this, whether it's on a public server, whether it's using mods in single player, whether it's using mods on a server like this. It's truly up to you. So nevertheless, there you have it. That is the complete beginner's guide to Minecraft in 2024. It's the most in-depth we ever went with it, and we hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and enjoy this amazing game that we all know and love, known as Minecraft.